Turn it up, turn it up. Turn that helicopter down.
Joel Schumacher, or as a friend of mine would always say, with little love, Joel Shitmaker, directed the third Batman movie starring Val Kilmer. Joel is also the person who penned the often cited in these videos The Wiz, with its mysterious use of New York as Oz, and the Kaaba representing spherical caryatid sculpture. Gotham City is the nightmare version of New York, and in this film we see Val and Two-Face fighting for control of a helicopter that smashes into a Gotham version of Lady Isis. Another part of the same sequence shows the helicopter flying through an eye, with Batman tethered to the bottom. Eyes, with their concentric circles, are beautiful Stargate resonators. Val Kilmer voiced Moses in The Prince of Egypt, an animated version of the Exodus story. In line with the alternative history views of Michael Tsarion and Ralph Ellis, I view Exodus as the story of the expulsion of the Hyksos pharaohs from Egypt under the key monotheist and chief architect Mason of history, the probable Moses or Aaron, Akhenaton, Amenhotep IV. In part 1, we saw how Akhenaton and Tutankhamun portrayed themselves with elongated craniums and limbs, and almond-shaped eyes, with speculation of possible, ritualistic, magical, psychedelic drug use. In this dream sequence, we see our Akhenaton and Batman resonating Moses surrounded by themes we have brought up in this series, like bees, the possible entheogenic lotus, and Thoth in his ibis form. Another synchrhomystic helicopter I've kept my eye on for a while is seen in a Spider-Man 1 teaser trailer which was pulled from circulation after the 9/11 mega ritual. The helicopter ends up snared in the concentric circles of a giant web spun between the holiest of holies of the pyramids.
These helicopters overhead, I think, to keep everybody else away.
The footage presented on the 9/11 Eyewitness documentary shows fascinating, unedited shots from an angle not favored by the news feeds on the day of the mega ritual. Captured on this potentially illuminating video is a little discussed, chopper-related bit of high weirdness, as just as the South Tower is about to collapse, one of many already seen helicopters passing directly over the pyramid stops and starts flashing. With the North Tower, it's difficult to tell if it's related owing to possible deceptive perspective, but for your consideration we bear witness to another helicopter flying above this pyramid as it too collapses. Reflect on Spider-Man's grey-like eyes, a Stargate symbol containing the twin pyramids. By continuing to add synchromystical 9/11 Stargate resonance to Spider-Man, I hope to proceed to illuminate 9/11 as a mega-ritual and add weight to the possibility of the helicopter's involvement. A 1991 X-Force comic shows terrorist Black Tom atop the towers with a slightly cuboid teleportation device. Teleportation is synonymous with Stargates, and Tom is trying to use this technology to bring classic X-Men and Spider-Man foe Juggernaut through the gate or vortex. Spider-Man is seen battling the terrorists and the Stargate jumping Juggernaut, while the top of the South Tower is exploded and actually destroyed in eerie resonance with the real-life event. Another fascinating gem, a 1976 Spidey superstory showing the Kingpin with a light-emanating Stargate octagon between the smashed pyramids and the holiest of holies representing space. Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge have been firmly unveiled as strong resonators of many occult forces surrounding 9/11. In the opening sequence to DuckTales, we see Scrooge's nephews pass the pyramids, Scrooge and an extraterrestrial with a Saturnian planet in the background, and finally McDuck inside the concentric circle map target-like logo of the series title design. In the episode Duck to the Future, Scrooge has a Wizard of Oz resonant encounter while time traveling. Oz has been particularly omnipresent in the past few videos, as connected to Crowley, the Sphere Sculpture, and Elton John. Time travel usually involves vortices or some kind of spatial distortion, and is thus Stargate resonant. In the episode Marking Time, our 9/11 Thoth-McDuck opens Stargates in a helicopter and has to evade a jet by jumping. This adds synchromystic validity of possible helicopter Stargate involvement in the mega ritual. Note how the helicopter is marked with the Isis sigil or stylized caduceus of the dollar symbol. The September Clues documentary, positing the theory that no planes hit the pyramids and that it was indeed most likely missiles, highlights the fact that helicopters were removed from the original footage of the event. In the Futurama episode, A Pharaoh to Remember, the Planet Express crew are sent to an ancient Egyptian-inspired alien world, Osiris IV, where they bear witness to the burial of Amenhotep, a name obviously inspired by Amenhotep, the most famous of which would be Akhenaton.
We commend the body of the great Amenhotep to the abode of the damned.
The funeral is accompanied by the musical stylings of an Elton John parody, a nod to the royal burial of Princess Diana. Sir Elton John, who was shown as Donald Thoth-McDuck and Oz-connected, ends up being entombed with the pharaoh by an alien ibis version of Thoth himself. Bender as pharaoh is seen riding a chair with blue lily depictions. Part 1 speculated that Thoth Hermes was inseparably connected to the lotus or blue lily, as his caduceus and the related winged orb were likely evolved from the flower's veneration and deification.
A girl had a pet duck. She fed and took care of her pet duck. But one day the duck got loose and ran away from the girl.
Scary Movie 4 sees the pet goat incident I have leveled accusation at as being an invocation of Pan by Aleister Crowley's possible grandson, parodied as the pet duck in line with our Thoth-McDuck 9/11 syncrhomysticism.
We've just received word the planet is under attack by aliens.
Okay.
In Marvel's 2003 comic, The End, Pharaoh Akhenaton is abducted by aliens and given super, almost unlimited power. Replete with images of Thoth, along with the pet duck alien attack from Scary Movie 4, this helps add higher intelligence, possible alien contact themes to Akhenaton, Thoth, and 9/11. Now things get a little weird as George W. Bush enters the fray and is teleported, a Stargate technology, from the White House by the chief architect Mason, Akhenaton. Other world leaders held captive by Akhenaton include Saddam, comparing the pharaoh's lodgings to Disneyland, and King of Atlantis, Namor. Namor is a member of the Illuminati in a current New Avengers miniseries. Viewing Akhenaton's worldwide televised address is our hero Spider-Man, at this stage on fire with mystical occult resonance, but amazingly we will see him yet again before the video ends. Steven Spielberg, the director of the recently cited Cubic Ark movie, brings us artificial intelligence in which we view Manhattan Island and the twin pyramids submerged under Atlantis/Diluvian resonant waters.
Mecca restricted area.
The computer of the futuristic police helicopter says the word Mecca, echoing the cuboid Kaaba, so frequently synchromystically discovered in the 9/11 Synchronet, and passes the torch of ISIS, harking back to the Batman helicopter Stargate. Distant future AIs resembling the grey aliens from Close Encounters fly by the pyramids in a cuboid craft. Bear in mind that Aleister Crowley believed he had contacted higher intelligences after meditating in the cuboid king's chamber of the Great Pyramid. His pictorial depictions of these intelligences resembled the traditional modern grey alien and the Wizard of Oz. Highlighted in this still, we continue to see a specific affinity the synchronicities have for the South Tower, as the grey-like head veils this pyramid before the scene changes. Simply put, my current belief system tells me that Akhenaton and his ideological and possible blood descendants, who were and still are in contact with higher intelligences, through the use of psychedelics and ritualized magic, have opened stargates of cosmic illumination to usher in the successive evolutionary stages of mankind, the most vivid and current examples of which would be Crowley's Book of the Law and W. Bush and his Wizard Cabal's Pan 9/11 Mega Ritual. We are looking at panels from a 1985 Marvel comic called Revenge of the Living Monolith, in which a giant menacing blood relative of the ancient pharaohs attacks New York after making the trip from Egypt in a jet plane. Attempting to thwart the pharaoh's destructive advance, we find Spider-Man eager to be involved in this action. The cover sees the gigantic pharaoh stepping through the holiest of holies representing space and smashing in a single blow the South Tower of the pyramids. These matters leave nothing to fear, as the shamanic elites of society have for aeons by necessity played this game, but it is time for the massive flowering of real consciousness on earth. Become your own enlightened emissary of the gods, and reclaim your connection with divinity from the materialist Illuminati. Namaste.
Open up your third eye, black helicopters in the skies.